President Trump is suspending all U.S. foreign assistance programs for 90 days pending reviews to make sure they are aligned with American interests and values. The executive order was one among many signed yesterday, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio will be responsible for evaluating foreign aid programs.
Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't yet subscribed, then please do so by simply tapping on the red subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so that you don't have to miss on any of my interesting videos. Now, there's been widespread panic since Donald Trump's freeze on foreign aid, with many people worried about their jobs hanging in the balance. The uncertainty is palpable and no one knows what the next 90 days will bring. For Zambia, the situation is particularly precarious, as the country has long relied on foreign aid, especially in the health sector. In fact, research has shown that foreign aid plays a significant role in Zambia's education and health industries, with 43% of the education budget being externally funded. Now, the freeze has raised concerns about the potential disruption to essential health services, including HIV treatment and cervical cancer screenings, which have been supported by programs like PEPFAR. Now, as the situation unfolds, many Zambians are left wondering what the future holds. Now, President Trump's 90-day freeze on foreign aid spending has sent shockwaves around the world, and the consequences are already being felt. The State Department's clarification that current foreign assistance programs, including PEPFAR and USAID, are also affected has sparked widespread concern. PEPFAR, which has saved over 26 million lives since its inception in 2003, is now facing an uncertain future. The program's annual $6.5 billion funding, which supports HIV treatment for over 222,000 people and cervical cancer screenings for over 7,000 women, is now on hold. Now, the impact of this freeze will be felt far beyond the US, with African nations and other recipients of American aid facing significant disruptions to essential health services. As a professor at McGill University notes, this is a crisis moment for global health and development. Now, in this video, we'll explore the implications of Trump's foreign aid freeze and what it means for the millions of people around the world who rely on these programs for their survival. So with that said, let's take a look at these videos as different people share their thoughts on this. I will be right back.
If this is true, then Zambia is in trouble. The United States government, through PEPFAR, is one of the major contributors financially towards the fight against HIV. Since 2004, they've contributed over $6.7 billion towards the fight against HIV in Zambia. So the USA making such a move would be a disaster to Zambia and Africans at large. We hope for the best.
Suspended this for only 90 days?
Yes, somewhere.
So that they can review?
Yes.
Someone was telling me that Zambia is not yet affected. There are certain countries that are affected. Zambia is not yet affected, but we do not know to what extent this ban will go, because the 90 days is to review, and then he will make a determination based on the report that he's going to receive. Now, whether Zambia gets affected or not, for me, I would say this is a good thing. And I know it's not a very popular opinion,
right,
to say it's a good thing that Zambia should lose aid.
Yes.
It is a good thing, because you cannot be a 60-year-old independent country and consistently depend on others to help you, yet all the minerals that are so needed abroad in America, and they are here lying to you that we are building Lobito corridor. Basically, it is to transport your minerals from Congo and from Zambia and take where? To the same America. And as long as we don't open our eyes, unless we come to a place where we open our eyes as a people and say there is no way we can be independent for 60 years and still be looking to America to come and build our hospitals and to buy us ARVs and all of this.
Fund the national budget.
We must be ashamed of ourselves as a nation, and this is an indictment on anyone who calls themselves a leader. I would like to hear if there will be any politician who will decry this, to say, oh, it's bad what Trump has said, then you're not fit to be a leader. I want to see someone who says it is about time.
Yeah.
Even a child, when they are about 1 month or so, 1 year, they get to be weaned from sucking. Exactly. A child must begin to eat on their own. Zambia, where we are, as long as we continue to benefit from all these handouts, they are just doing this to us, putting a veil so that we can continue giving tax breaks to mines and exporting raw minerals. Let's be decisive and say, if you want copper, come and set up a copper processing plant here. If you want our emeralds, they'll be here. London Stock Metal Exchange, we will be determining how much our copper should be fetching. This country must arise. This country cannot continue at this trajectory. For me personally, I refuse to live under a generation where our wealth will continue going and we'll be looking to the West, oh, send us aid.
Actually, when Trump came into office, he did put in a 90-day stop to all foreign aid. What was confusing to many people was whether this applied to future or current grants. But then last week, Friday, the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, clarified that this applies to all work and everything must immediately stop. And this is why we're seeing a lot of US-funded organization release statements that work will stop either yesterday or that today is the last day people can access health services, collect their medication and things like that. So it is an immediate stop order or stop work order as it's being called, and it's in full effect. And organizations that are US funded, which is many of the health services and research institutes in South Africa, have to stop working and not serving their communities.
President Donald Trump has suspended aid to Africa for 3 months. Okay, so for the next 3 months, the United States government is not going to provide any aid to an African country of any kind. All right, so this has brought a lot of talk, a lot of confusion amongst the population of us Africans. People are complaining and even blaming Donald Trump for actually imposing this kind of sanction. I would call it a sanction because most African countries actually depend on American aid. But I think this is a good thing because most Africans are actually lazy. We are lazy. We elect leaders that are so dependent on Western aid. And we are going to see now, this is in the next 3 months, watch Africa. In the next 3 months, we'll see which leader or which government is strategic, which government is actually based on developing their country using their local resources. What Donald Trump has done actually should have actually let it go up to 5 years so that we are able to actually learn how to actually process our own minerals and use it for our own benefits. We have got vast minerals in Africa. We've got vast water resources, fresh water resources in Africa. We've got different kinds of resources, mineral resources, natural resources, all kinds of resources Africa has. But the problem is with leadership. 99% of African leaders right now, African presidents, leaders, kings, monarchs are useless because most of them depend on Western aid. Now we are going to see, since Donald Trump has actually suspended for the first time, he has actually suspended international aid specifically to Africa. We are going to see which African president and which African economist and which African country actually is actually headed by a good president. Because, you know, we have got a problem here in Africa. Okay, one of the things I've discovered is that even when these people are campaigning, these presidents, when they are campaigning, one of their key campaign points is their connection to the West. Are they well connected to the West, specifically the United States of America? Are they well connected to the United States of America?
So Trump just put pause on aid in Africa. And I must say there are some people who are seriously affected. You know, people who are relying on this aid for medication, for food and the likes. And my heart really goes out to them. However, guys, we are crying about ARVs right now and other medication and food right now, but we can't even stand on our own 2 feet with regards to things such as ARVs. I think this is an opportunity for us as Africans to actually take our positions, right, and put that begging bowl away and start finding our own solutions, because we can't, guys. We can't be saying and crying about ARVs, basic medication, and saying that we need you. Then that's how we end up being manipulated. So it's quite sad that things have come to this. However, we need to be able to stand on our own 2 feet as Africans. Man, we've got all these resources, we've got all these things, but we still need to beg for ARVs. We still need to beg for medication. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. But guys, let me know what you think. And again, my heart goes out to those affected. Cheers, bye-bye.